Lil Wayne is suddenly being dragged into the growing Diddy controversy, and the internet is running with it at full speed. Over the past few days, a viral and unverified claim has exploded online, alleging that Lil Wayne finally spoke out after watching 50 Cent's Netflix docuseries. According to the claim, Wayne allegedly admitted he had kept his distance from Diddy for years following an inappropriate phone call back in 2008, and that fear of Diddy's power in the music industry kept him silent for a long time. Right from the start, it's important to say this clearly: there is no confirmed public statement from Lil Wayne. No verified interview. No audio recording. No official post. What exists is a chain of social media posts, commentary videos, and anonymous claims being repeated so often that they're starting to feel real. But whether proven or not, the reason this story is resonating so strongly says a lot about the current state of hip-hop. The timing is not random. This wave of speculation picked up immediately after 50 Cent's Netflix docuseries dropped. The series dives deep into power, fear, silence, and control in the music industry. While it doesn't center entirely on Diddy, it strongly suggests that some figures were protected for decades because they held enormous influence over careers, money, and access. 50 Cent's message is blunt. A lot of people saw things, heard things, or knew things, but chose not to speak because the consequences were too heavy. That framing is exactly why Lil Wayne's name suddenly entered the conversation. According to the viral claim, Wayne allegedly told people close to him that a phone call with Diddy in 2008 made him deeply uncomfortable. The story claims that after that moment, Wayne began distancing himself, keeping things professional but never getting close again. It also suggests Wayne stayed quiet because speaking up at the time could have destroyed everything he worked for. Again, none of this has been verified. But to many fans, it doesn't sound far-fetched. In 2008, Lil Wayne was at the absolute peak of his career. Da Carter 3 had just dropped, and Wayne was untouchable as an artist, but not immune as a businessman. At the same time, Diddy wasn't just a rapper or producer. He was an industry power broker. Labels, radio, fashion, liquor brands, media. Crossing someone like that didn't just mean beef. It meant doors quietly closing. That's why so many people online are saying, if Wayne really felt uncomfortable, why would he speak now? The answer they keep coming back to is simple: the industry climate has changed. Back then, silence was the price of survival. You didn't question powerful executives. You didn't challenge billion-dollar empires. And you definitely didn't accuse anyone of inappropriate behavior unless you were ready to lose everything: your deals, your reputation, maybe even your freedom. Fear wasn't dramatic. It was calculated. Fear of being blackballed. Fear of endless lawsuits. Fear of being labeled crazy, difficult, or ungrateful. Fear that nobody would believe you anyway. That's why 50 Cent's docuseries hit so hard. It didn't just expose stories, it exposed a system that rewarded silence and punished truth. Once that door cracked open, fans started revisiting old relationships, old interviews, and old patterns. They started asking uncomfortable questions. Why did certain collaborations never happen? Why did some artists quietly disappear from certain circles? Why were some names never mentioned, no matter how many rumors existed? Lil Wayne's career history adds fuel to that speculation. Despite being one of the most collaborative artists in hip-hop, his relationship with Diddy was never especially visible or consistent. There was respect, but no deep alliance, no major run of joint projects. On its own, that means nothing, but in today's climate, people are connecting dots whether they should or not. And that's how rumors turn into narratives. Another reason this story keeps spreading is Lil Wayne himself. Wayne has always been private when it comes to industry politics. He talks about music, skating, creativity, and life, but rarely about behind-the-scenes power struggles. So the idea that he might have kept something personal to himself for years feels believable to many fans, even without evidence. But belief and proof are not the same thing. As of now, Lil Wayne has not publicly confirmed any inappropriate phone call, any fear of Diddy, or any reason for long-term silence. No major outlet has verified this claim. And that matters, because repeating unverified allegations as fact can damage lives and careers on all sides. At the same time, the public reaction reveals something deeper. Fans are exhausted from learning the truth decades too late. They're tired of hearing, "Everybody knew," after the damage is already done. The question people are really asking isn't just about Lil Wayne, it's about the culture itself. Was silence in hip-hop about loyalty? Or was it about survival? If the claim about Wayne is completely false, it shows how quickly narratives can be built when trust in powerful figures collapses. If there's even partial truth to it, then it raises even bigger questions. How many artists stayed quiet? How many stories never made it out? And how different would hip-hop history look if people had felt safe enough to speak earlier? One thing is undeniable. Diddy's image today is not what it was 20 years ago. Allegations, lawsuits, and investigations have cracked the aura of invincibility. That shift alone is enough to make old rumors resurface and new ones gain traction, even without confirmation. And that's why Lil Wayne, whether he wants to be or not, is now part of this conversation. Until Wayne speaks directly and clearly, this story remains exactly what it is right now: a viral, unverified claim amplified by timing, history, and a changing industry. But the fact that so many people are willing to believe it says a lot about how much trust has been lost in hip-hop's power structures. So the real question isn't just whether Lil Wayne said these things. It's why so many people believe he would have a reason to. Do you think more artists are going to start speaking up now that the balance of power is shifting? Do you believe silence in the past was about protection, or fear? And should stories like this be shared widely, or questioned harder before they spread? What makes this moment even more intense is how quickly the narrative around power in hip-hop is changing in real time. For decades, certain names were treated as untouchable. Their influence stretched beyond music into fashion, media, politics, and money. Speaking against someone like that wasn't just risky, it felt impossible. And that's why stories like this, even when unverified, immediately catch fire. If you look at the broader picture, Lil Wayne wouldn't be the first major artist rumored to have stayed quiet out of fear. History is full of artists who later admitted they held things in for years because the system wasn't built to protect them. Contracts were one-sided, legal teams were stacked against individuals, and public opinion often favored whoever held the biggest platform. That's the environment people are imagining when they hear these claims about Wayne. Another layer here is timing. The rise of documentaries, podcasts, and independent media has shifted who controls the narrative. Artists no longer need traditional outlets to be heard, and fans no longer wait for record labels to tell them what's true. 50 Cent's docuseries is a perfect example of that shift. It didn't just tell a story, it opened the door for others to be questioned. And once that door opens, people start looking backward. Fans begin replaying old interviews, old award show interactions, old lyrics. They start asking if certain bars meant more than we realized at the time. Was someone sending a warning? Was someone hinting at discomfort without saying it outright? In hip-hop, coded language has always existed, especially when saying something directly could cost you everything. That's why this Lil Wayne rumor has legs. Not because it's proven, but because it fits a pattern people are now willing to acknowledge. At the same time, there's a responsibility that comes with consuming stories like this. There's a fine line between holding powerful figures accountable and spreading claims that haven't been verified. The internet doesn't always respect that line, but it matters. Allegations, even rumors, carry weight, and once they're out there, they can't be taken back. Which brings us to the bigger question: what happens next? If more artists decide to speak openly, it could permanently reshape how the music industry operates. Power would no longer flow in one direction. Silence would no longer be the default. But if people remain quiet, these conversations will continue to exist in the shadows, half-spoken, half-denied, and fueled by speculation. Lil Wayne hasn't said a word yet, and that silence could mean many things. It could mean the rumor is false. It could mean he doesn't want to be dragged into ongoing drama. Or it could mean he's choosing peace over chaos in a moment where everything is being dissected. Until facts replace speculation, all we can do is watch carefully and question responsibly. So let me ask you this. Do you think the truth about hip-hop's most powerful figures is finally coming out, or are we entering an era where rumors move faster than reality? Do artists owe the public honesty about the past, or do they have the right to stay silent? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you want more real conversations about what's happening behind the curtain of the music industry, make sure you subscribe for more.